Hello students, welcome back to revision time. I hope you all are healthy. So today I am going to start with chapter number 2 of class 10, that is acids, bases and salts. So let us start. So now how we can define the acids and bases? So in the layman language we can simply say that acids, they are the substances which are sour in taste and they turn the blue litmus red, whereas bases, they are bitter in taste and they turn the red litmus blue. But practically we cannot be dependent upon this concept. So we have Arrhenius concept of acids and bases. So according to this, the acids, they give us H positive ion in the dissolved form, and bases, they give us OH negative ion in the dissolved form. So we can see we are getting H positive ion and OH positive ion. So also we have some indicators also. So now these are the substances which tell us that whether the chemical we are using, it is an acid or a base, by showing the changes in its color. So first we have natural indicators. We have litmus and turmeric. Litmus, it is obtained from the lichens that belongs to the Thylophyta group. In the neutral state, it is purple in color. We have blue litmus and red litmus. We all know acids turn blue litmus red and bases turn red litmus blue. And we have turmeric also. With acids, the turmeric, it is unchanged, it remains yellow in color only, but with bases, the turmeric, it changes to orange in color. So we can perform this experiment. You can use soap water and you can add the haldi to it, that is turmeric only, and you will see the changes. It will change to orange in color because soap, it is somewhat basic in nature. Next we have artificial indicators. We have methyl orange and phenolphthalein. In neutral state, methyl orange is orange and phenolphthalein, it is colorless. With acids, it will turn to red, and base, it will turn to yellow, methyl orange. But phenolphthalein, it will turn to pink in color when it comes contact to base, but it will remain colorless with acids. Next we have olfactory indicators also. So these indicators, they do not show the change in color, but they change their smell. So we have clove oil, that is long ka tel, and we have vanilla essence, and we have onion. So with acids, these all things, they retain their smell, but with bases, they lose their smell. So this is the indication only. So next, let us see how the reaction of the metals with acids take place. So we have metals, it will react with dilute acid only. So it will form salt and water, salt and hydrogen, sorry, not water. So due to the evolution of hydrogen gas, there will be the effervescence. Please note that this is not brisk effervescence, because brisk effervescence, it is observed in the evolution of carbon dioxide only. So also the hydrogen gas, it burns with a pop sound. So we have these metals here reacting with dilute acids and forming these salts, and there is evolution of hydrogen gas. So we have this setup here to see the popping up of the hydrogen gas. This is done in the laboratories only. We have this stand here, and in this test tube we have zinc granules, and when we add the sulfuric acid in it, there will be the evolution of hydrogen gas. So this hydrogen gas from the delivery tube, it will reaches this beaker. So in this beaker we have soap solution. So from here also the soap bubbles that are filled with the hydrogen gas, it will rise up, and when we bring the candle, the burning candle near to it, we will see the hydrogen gas, it is burning with a pop sound. Next is the reaction of bases with a metal. It is same, we will get salt and hydrogen only. This here we have caustic soda, or it is also known as sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide, here it is the chemical name, and caustic soda, it is the common name. So we have to remember both of them. So there is formation of sodium meta-aluminate, and with zinc there is formation of sodium zincate. So next we have is the reaction of metal carbonates and bicarbonates with the acids. So metal carbonates, they are CO3, and bicarbonates, they are HCO3. So with both, there is formation of salt, carbon dioxide and water. So here we have carbon dioxide, then that means we will have the brisk effervescence, and also the carbon dioxide, it turns the lime water milky. So we have these examples here. You can take the screenshot for the practice. Next we have reaction of acid with base. That is nothing but the neutralization reaction. We all know that we will get salt and water here. The reaction of metal oxide with acids, here also we will get salt and water. But this is not the neutralization reaction. We should always remember that every reaction forming salt and water is not a neutralization, because for the neutralization reaction we need acid and base. Here we have acid with metal oxide, right? So copper oxide, which is black in color, reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid, producing bluish green solution of copper chloride and forming water also. So next we have dilution of acids. So acids, they need to be diluted because they are very strong in nature in the concentrated form, and they can cause several harms, right? So during the dilution of an acid while working practically in the laboratory, we should always follow a protocol. So in the protocol we have that always we are adding acid to water but not water to acid. By this I mean that first of all you should always put water in the beaker or in the test tube that you are using, like this, and then you can add the acid to it slowly. But never take the acid initially in the beaker and add water to it, because this process, it is very exothermic in nature and it will cause the cracking of this beaker that you are using, and ultimately what will happen, the acid, it will splash out and it can harm the worker, and it can cause burning, right? So it is a very important protocol. We should always add acid to water but not water to acid, right? So now, how strong are these acids or bases? For this we have the concept of pH. pH is nothing but potence of hydrogen ion, or it is simply the concentration of a hydrogen ion. So it is a universal indicator. So we have pH scale here. It is a scale with 14 units, and 7 it indicates the neutral state, and this side it indicates the acid, and from 7.1 to 14 we have bases. So while moving in this direction, the acidic strength it decreases, and moving in this direction, the basic strength it increases. That means the chemical with pH of 14, it is very basic in nature, and acid with pH of 6.9, it is very acidic in nature, but with pH 1 it is less acidic in nature, right? So we have pH paper also. So in laboratories we generally use this pH paper. What we do, we put a few drops of the chemical that we are using on this paper, and we can see the color changes on it. So these colors, these are for the acids, and these colors, the blue tone colors, they are for the bases. The red tone colors, they are for the acids. So if it is green in color, that means it is a neutral substance, neither acid nor basic. So pH is very useful in daily life. First is for the survival of living organisms. The suitable pH for us, it is 7 to 7.6. So what happens when the acid rain, it mixes with the seawater? It will result in the depletion of dissolved oxygen, and this dissolved oxygen, it is used by the aquatic life, the flora and fauna, for their survival. So if it is depleted, that means there is threat to the aquatic life. Second is digestion of food. So we all know that in the stomach we release gastric juices for the digestion. In that we have HCl. HCl is hydrochloric acid with pH 3.5. This is the suitable pH. So whenever we eat junk food, the production of HCl, it increases, and it will cause acidity to us. So for this, the doctors, they generally recommend the antacids to neutralize the excess of HCl. It neutralizes the excess of HCl only, right? So common antacids we have is sodium bicarbonate, and we have magnesium hydroxide, that is milk of magnesia. So role of pH in tooth decay. So suitable pH of our mouth, it is 5.5. That is somewhat acidic, right? So tooth decay, it starts when the pH is lower than 5.5. So what happens when we eat more sugar? The bacteria of saliva, it degrades the sugar particles, and it releases the acids. So this release, it will cause the lowering of the pH of the mouth, and the tooth decay, it starts. So the tooth covering, it is made up of enamel. It is the hardest part of our body. So this acid, it can destroy that enamel also, right? So for the prevention, we all know what we have to do. We have to brush our teeth twice a day, because the paste we use, it contains the bases that neutralizes the amount of acid in the mouth. Also, you should always rinse the mouth with plenty of water after each meal. So pH used in the chemical warfare by plants and animals. So whenever the honeybee it stings, it releases the methanoic acid, which causes the pain and irritation. So immediately it should be rubbed with the sodium bicarbonate that is present in the soaps only. So we will get the relief from the pain and irritation. So what is happening here? It is releasing methanoic acid, but sodium bicarbonate, it is somewhat basic, so it is neutralizing the effect of acid. Similarly, nettle plant is also releasing methanoic acid through its thorns. So for the relief, we can rub the dog plant. Dog plant is always planted near the nettle plant also, right? Role of pH in growth of plants. So growth of plants, we need soil, and the soil, it should be neutral in nature, but sometimes it is acidic or basic naturally, or because of the fertilizers or manures that we are using on it. So if a soil it is acidic in nature, we can use calcium oxide, we can use calcium carbonate, but if it is basic in nature, we can use organic decaying matter, that is the manure only. It will neutralize the excess of base in soil. So this was all about today's lecture. So rest of the topics I will cover in the next lecture. For that, press the bell icon for the notifications. Do like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you.